Hello and welcome to our presentation. Today we'll be discussing the inventory projection report found in the Products Replenishment section of Communique for Marketplaces. My name is Tom and I'll be your presenter for this video. Communique for Marketplaces is an enterprise-level cloud reporting platform designed for e-commerce merchants just like you. Communique features over 220 standard reports, dashboards, and utilities. It is remarkably intuitive and easy to use. In no time you'll be running reports just like a pro. The Inventory Projection Report is a Product Replenishment report. The Inventory Projection Report approaches product replenishment differently than most product replenishment reports. This difference makes it well suited for seasonal sales. It looks at sales history for last season and projects stocking levels for next season. Once you've chosen your filters, factors, and options, you are ready to generate your inventory projection for the next season. Before we get started with this presentation, we recommend watching the following videos. Suggested Product Order Report Parts 1 and 2, Days Out of Stock, Inventory Time on Hand, and Total Inventory Calculation. These videos explain in greater detail some of the features and functionality we'll be discussing in this video. Let's get started with the Inventory Projection Report presentation for Marketplace Reporting. Before we get started with this report, there's an important disclaimer you should know. Since this report evaluates seasonal sales for last year to project stocking levels for the current season, any new products added to your catalog since last season will not be included in projections for this season. New products since last season have no seasonal sales history, so there's nothing to project for the next season. You can use a suggested product order report for those items. Go to the Product Replenishment menu located in the ribbon bar and select the Inventory Projection Report. Right mouse click anywhere in the report and select Search from the pop-up menu. Let's discuss the available filters for this report. In the lower left of the data filters are date options which determine which date type is used for determining unit sales for the report. The order date is selected by default. The order date is the preferred date when generating product replenishment reports. The order date is much more relevant for product replenishment than paid or ship dates. However, we include those options in case you find those dates more useful. The next set of filters we'll review are the filter options found in the upper right of the data filters. The supply days is the value used to determine how many days supply you want to maintain. By default, the value is set to 30, but can be changed to any value you deem necessary. There are use case scenarios where 45, 60, or more day supply is necessary for certain products, brands, or suppliers. The forecast percent can be used for what-if scenarios to anticipate any changes in sales projections. For example, you look back at a previous season to anticipate a 25% sales increase for the next season. You can easily change the forecast percent value to 125 and give it a try. The lead days are the average number of days it takes from the time you issue a purchase order until the time the product arrives to your warehouse. Keep in mind lead days can vary from supplier to supplier and even from product to product from the same supplier. Purchase orders with issue receive dates by supplier and product are the most accurate means for lead days. The next filter option is the units on hand greater than 0. This filter limits the results of those products currently in stock. Normally you would not use this filter, but there are cases where you might want to look at in-stock products only, particularly when determining which course of action to consider with overstocks. To use lead days as a minimum option uses the lead days value as the minimum number of lead days. If the actual lead day for a product is less than a lead days value, then this option will use the lead days value instead. The Use Lead Days Only filter option will ignore any calculated lead days for a product and only use the lead days value. The With Sales Only filter option will only list those products that have a sales history. This filter is selected by default for good reason. Deselecting this filter will return all products in your catalog regardless of sales history. This could be a long list of products that take a while to generate. The next set of filters are the Recommended Order filters. By default, the No Filter Applied is selected. This determines which products are displayed based on the recommended order column. There are 3 options which include greater than, less than, and not equal to 0. The greater than 0 selection will limit the report to only those products which require replenishment. The less than 0 selection will limit the report to only those products which are overstock. The next filter is the Sales History Range filters. The start date and sales date work together. The start date is the beginning of the sales history evaluation period. The sales days determines the number of days to look forward from the start date. The start date and sales dates are user selectable. Changing either value automatically adjusts the end date. The end date is read-only, cannot be changed directly. It displays the end date for the sales evaluation period for inventory projection. The start and end dates will always be set to last year. It looks at sales history for last season and projects stocking levels for next season. The data filters for this report include additional filter tabs located at the bottom. You can filter by additional options, brands, categories, products, suppliers, and warehouse. Click on the Additional Filter tab. As you can see, there are additional filter options you can apply to the inventory projection report. For more information about these filters, please review the videos mentioned earlier in this presentation. Click on the Warehouses tab. From the available list, select the Amazon Distribution Center and add it to the selected list. Once the warehouse has been added, click on the Apply button located below and apply the filters to the inventory projection report. As you can see, there are 176 products listed on the report. Let's look at the data columns of this report so we can explain what each column represents. Product SKU column is the stock keeping unit designation for the item. The type column is the product type. It identifies the product as either standard, kit, bundle, or assembly. The priority column determines replenishment priority based on the time on hand priority option selected. The priority indicates the order in which you should proceed with replenishing stock. The next 5 columns are quantity columns, indicate the number of units in various states of availability. Quantity on hand are units available for immediate sale to customers. Quantity on order are units ordered from your suppliers and still en route to your warehouse. Quantity reserve are units reserved and not available for sale. These units may be set aside for orders or still undergoing processing and preparation for sale. Quantity in transit are units in transit to another warehouse, Amazon FBA, or a 3PL. These are usually products you own but are now temporarily unavailable for sale because they are in transit to another facility. The quantity total column are the total number of units for the product. This value includes the quantity on order, quantity reserved, and quantity in transit since the total inventory calculation options for these values are selected. The next set of columns are the time on hand and time on hand all. Time on hand are remaining days of stock available for sale calculated using the sales velocity. The time on hand all is the same as the time on hand except it includes quantity on order, quantity reserved, and quantity in transit in addition to the quantity on hand. The unit sales column represents the number of units sold during the sales evaluation period. The lead days column represents the average number of days from the time you issue a purchase order for a product until the time it arrives to your warehouse. If you recall, the default lead days are 15. The lead days other than 15 are calculated using the purchase order issue dates and receive dates for the product. The sales velocity column are the average number of units sold per day during the sales evaluation period. The remaining columns are replenishment recommendations. The recommended units in green are the recommended number of units to order. The recommended units in red indicate a product is overstocked and should be reviewed to determine the best course of action to reduce excess inventory. The recommended order column is also the recommended number of units to order, but it considers the unit of measure and the unit of measure quantity in its calculations. The recommended value column is the inventory value recommended for purchase. The recommended level column is the recommended stocking level for the item based on sales velocity, supply days, forecast percent, and lead days. The recommended reorder point is the minimum stocking level for the product. Once you reach that number, it's time to reorder. Go to the Configure section located at the top right of the ribbon bar and click on the Display button. The Column Options section contains additional columns which can be added or removed from the report. All unselected options are columns that can be added to the report. As you can see, there are a lot of extra columns that can be added. Even though the columns are not visible in the report, any data those columns contain are available when exported. We're not going to add any more columns for now. Let's look at a product replenishment so I can explain some of the particulars to you. The selected product has a high priority because the time on hand is 19 days. There are 9 unit sales for the product. The 5 lead days were calculated using purchase orders. The sales velocity was calculated at 0.100 units per day. The recommended units are 2, and since the unit of measure is each, the recommended order is the same. The recommended value is $547.99, meaning ordering those 2 units will cost this amount. The recommended stocking level is 4. You take the current quantity on hand of 2 units plus the 2 units recommended for the order to arrive at a stocking level of 4. The recommended reorder point for this product is 1. Once your stocking level reaches 1, it's time to order more. Let's take a look at the next item. This item has an overstock priority because the recommended units is -3. There are 33 unit sales for the product. The 5 lead days were calculated using the purchase orders. The sales velocity was calculated at 0.367 units per day. The recommended units are -3 and the recommended order is 0. The recommended stocking level is 13. You take the current quantity total of 16 units plus the -3 units recommended for the order to arrive at a stocking level of 13. The recommended reorder point for this product is 2. Once your stocking level reaches 2, it's time to reorder more. Once you understand some of the basic principles with the filters, factors, and data points, product replenishment using the inventory projection report is not so daunting. This concludes our presentation of the inventory projection report found in the Product Replenishment section of Communique for Marketplaces. In summary, the inventory projection report is well suited for seasonal sales projection. It evaluates sales history for last season and projects stocking levels for next season. Reports are crucial for any business, especially yours. Marketplace reporting provides you with better reports so you'll have better results for your business. You can contact us at sales@marketplacereporting.com to learn more about marketplace reporting and how we can help. You can join the conversation at marketplacereporting.com/blog. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, click the like button, and share with your colleagues. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.